Alrighty guys, I got my video camera back out. Seeing the battery is gonna bother holding its charge. It says it got about 180 minutes, so if it shuts off, then I'll know something's up. Anyway, last video I made of this was probably 2 years ago, maybe 3. If you might recall that video, someone stuck this to fire, handle kind of got burned off. I was making this one and then kind of cleaning up the blade, yada yada yada. Of course, I was out using it again with this on, the old handle, and sure enough it came off when I was cutting down a little tree. You can see where the burn mark is. Yeah, it kind of got burned off, so screws were still sort of there, and I just taped it up and put some glue in there and held it for a little while longer. And then I had this made years ago, and I just never bothered putting it on because I was still using this handle for as long as it would last. And this is pretty much a straight copy because, you know, it seems to feel good. The only thing it does have is a little guard, which I don't know, probably won't bother putting on anyway because I usually wear gloves when I'm out. But this handle ain't cut all the way through. It's like cut somewhat down there, and I could do that and hopefully get the screws aligned properly, or I could just cut it all the way straight down the middle and then have a two-piece thing, but that doesn't sound as strong as just a one-piece that's just slightly cut. So I think I'll go ahead and try this. Thing is, I just need to make sure I got a blade just wide enough for this blade. And you know, you're probably thinking maybe this, maybe. It's just I really won't have any good way of clamping something that small down. Be a little dangerous. So maybe I'll just take a little quick saw down there and then grab a little bit of sandpaper and sand it for hours on end. If you got the patience, you can do that. Before I'll do any of that, I'll definitely mark this down where it should be, for the holes at least. And then I'll see about getting bolts in there. I know a lot of people like to use rivets, but I don't got rivets or a rivet gun. I don't feel like getting a rivet gun just for this, or rivets. So I think I'll just get some bolts. See if I got any right size, because I know I got tons of bolts laying around everywhere. And get some nuts. And I could cut them down to size. And I can drill little holes so they stay sunk in there so they're not sticking out. And then maybe wrap some electrical tape or whatever. And then be good again. As you can see, this handle does have a nice curve down there, so it doesn't slide out so easy. Well, can't really show you anyway. It just doesn't have a guard. So it should work nice. And that's my plan. First though, I better check if I got bolts. And hooray for this camera not dying yet, because I know the last time I used it, it died in the middle of starting that, which was really rather inconvenient. Oh, and I'm getting new tires. Thanks, Mom. Love ya. Alright, so we'll get to work. Well, one thing that occurred to me after putting down my camera and started searching is that it'd be kind of hard to tighten down nuts when they're sunken, or the bolts when they're sunken into, you know, even the nuts even, but I thought machine screw, and sure enough I got machine screws. As you can see, it is a little long, but like I said, I can cut it down. And then I looked around a little bit more and I found a nut. Now the nut I will try to sink down, and maybe wedge a screwdriver in there, because these things want to be super duper tight. They just have to be pretty snug, and I think I can get it snug enough if I just sneak in a screwdriver, a blade screwdriver, into one of these ends here and then tighten down, because it is only just a screwdriver bit. And like I said, it doesn't need to be super tough. And yes, these do fit. Last time I did check. And not the super tight fit, there's like a little bit of play, just a minuscule. But definitely should be tight enough to hold it on. Maybe I could just get it fairly spaced out so they're right on the edges. Or not, doesn't really matter. I think I'll maybe throw in a little bit of glue in there to just make sure it stays in there. Now I just need to saw this down, which should be not too hard. I'm pretty sure, hell, I could probably just use one of these damn saws that might actually just be thick enough too, so I don't have to sand for hours. Yeah, a little big, but whatever. Yeah. I'll just use that. Did do a ton of gardening work the other day, and I was using this a lot, and it works so nice. Yeah. The mill strip's all nice and clear now. Chopped down a couple trees, trimmed down a lot of bushes, buried the cable to our dish satellite. That was all fun. So, get that set in the vise, cut it down. First, gotta see how long that goes down deep. I'll just get a knife and cut it. And then for that, I can just use a hacksaw to get those shortened up enough. And this thing will be ready to go. And then I'll definitely need to sharpen it. I mean, it's still chopping shit, even though it's in an absolutely horrible shape. It's not sharp at all, but guess, you know, it's got enough weight on the end to still lop stuff. So I'll get that nice and sharp. Probably work on these really rough ends with a file real fast, and then I got a nice sharpening stone. That'll get nice and sharp. So let's get this project going. Well, guys, after all that boring looking around for shit and then kind of guesstimating eye level measurements of everything, I can finally get you an action shot so this video isn't so damn boring to watch, even though this ain't gonna be exciting in itself. Whatever. This is where having a drill press would be very nice to have, and since I'm not drilling big holes, I'm not doing a pilot hole, so this is probably not going to be totally straight, but whatever. Trying to get level with the bench, and the bench probably not. Well, don't really matter. Too high. Damn it. It's hard to get it started once you got a little hole started. Gotta go at this at an angle a little bit, just so I can get restarted. Alright, close enough. Good enough. Now, second one. I know I probably look like an idiot on camera, but whatever. That's gonna be a little high. Whatever. It's hard to hold a fucking drill straight. This is why I want a drill press. Hey, recorded it all. Oh, straight enough, I guess. Now I just need to cut it down to about there. So, actually, this all can cut fast enough. I could probably just keep it going. So I'm gonna show you like the aftermath, like I always do in every video I make. And yeah, this does kind of mark up my hand with the vise, but well, what can you do? Gotta hold it somehow. It's not like I can do everything while holding it. Except maybe the sharpening part. Well, I could probably put the blade in here. That'd be easier. Just need to keep a cup of water in here. I gotta mark the center. Yeah. Just use my old handle. Just kind of get pretty good close center there. Yeah, I know it's not accurate, but whatever. Here, I could probably make it a little bit more accurate. Of course I have the big one in the way. I have to reach over everything. There we go. Let's just see if I can get it. There's using it. Like that. Well, I just grabbed this out before. This will be kind of fun and interesting to see. Let's see if you can get it totally straight using a handsaw. Let's see if this line's straight. Doesn't look straight. This isn't totally straight. Or something. It's weird. Maybe this handle ain't straight. Yeah, good enough. It's not like I'm making a katana or anything. Found a saw. This should be just right, except looks like someone put a torch to it. So I'll use that, a good portion at least, to maybe see about hammering that straight. Or maybe I could just saw through it, not really. Oh, it is kind of bent. Unfortunate, but that's all we got. And of course, it's probably not going to go all the way down, which it won't. So I'll have to figure a way around that somehow. Good enough though. So let's throw this back up there and continue on. Should make it nicer. Well, they found me another saw, but as you can see, this might be one of those antique saws you probably don't want to use. But it's what I got, so I'm gonna use it. So, and before some antique kind of person. Here, I'll show you what I've been talking about this entire time about being slightly off center. Okay, there's top. Not perfectly centered, and there's where kind of went off the side and I corrected it early on. I tried to correct it, but usually when it gets down so far, it's pretty much the point of no return, and the blade doesn't want to turn at that point. Unless you kind of go through and cut it a bunch of ways, but then you'll leave a open big gap there, and it's just worse than just having it slightly off center. I mean, this isn't a super precision project anyway. It's just putting a handle on a damn machete. Tons of sandpaper, but most of it looks a little too worn out. This one looks pretty good. Yeah, on the center at least. Those are a little too thick. That's well used. And I probably got a box of it up there. In fact, I see some right now. Looks decent too. Ink. Probably end up using just a combination of all of it. And I'm gonna just skip to this because you already saw the sawing part, which is way long enough, and I'll edit a lot of it out anyway. So yeah. Alright, so one of the issues I did run into with sanding is if you put a piece of paper in there and just run it back and forth, it's not really gonna get the middle part too well on the inside. It's just gonna kind of round the edges because where the pressure's at. So I just found a putty knife and wrap some paper around that, and I should be able to keep it nice and straight when I'm sanding, so it's not just rounding the inside there. And it's coming along nicely. And then to dig out these holes, I might just see if I can get a... Well, I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe just grab a screwdriver, a little chisel, and maybe just kind of chisel it out, because I don't really have any flat screwdriver, drill bits for that. If I just use a regular drill, it'll just probably go in too deep too fast and everything. So I think I'll just do that by hand, take a little bit longer, but should be a little better. Probably won't look nice, but whatever. So anyway, that's how I solved that little trick. Well, after a shitload of sanding, I finally got there. And as you can see, there's a huge gap at the... Well, here, yeah, there you go. Bit of a gap. I only simply copied the other handle, so the other handle had that kind of gap too. But as you can see, the screws are in place, blade's in place, handle ain't super perfectly straight, but I'm pretty happy with it after all that work, it would be. So there you go. The blade wasn't even super straight to begin with, so you can see it's a little warped and everything, but it still chops nice, so that's all I really care about. So I guess now that I got the screws all test fit and everything, I guess I'll pull them apart and start kind of digging out little slots for them. Alright then. Now guys, I was just testing out the fit, and that screw and nut is just so small, I could probably just cut the bolt and be happy with it. Then just wrap it with tape and really wouldn't bother me because they're just so small. It's not like they're sticking out a huge amount. So I think I'll just cut the damn... Well, I should say machine screws instead of bolt, but I think I'll just cut those off right at the nut and then kind of finish snuggling them up. And I could probably get them a little bit so tight because this wood's kind of soft and they'll just sink in a little bit by their own. And then wrap it up with tape and then sharpen the blade. It's a nice handle though. So I'll grab my hacksaw and grab a little file and just file the fucker down. Well, that was about 200 pounds of fat ass leaning on that. To kind of get started, that works going to work pretty well. Because that was my problem, is getting started because it just wants to shake all over the place and not really cut a specific spot. this nook there. Yeah, oh well. Yeah, no guard, so oh well. I don't really know what way I would be able to do that. Maybe like insert a little piece of metal, but really don't got too much to work with metal here, except files and hacksaws. I do got an angle grinder, but it's got a lot of weight in the end. Yeah, as you can see, it still wants to fall to the end. Still there. Balance is somewhere around here. So it's got a lot of weight on the end, so it's easy to just lop down shit. Kind of looks like one of the machetes that what's his face called, Jason from the movies would have. Now it just needs sharpening. What would we call it? It's not like really a recurve, it's just angled. So there you got it. My machete. 17 minutes, wow. So this is gonna be a long video. Look like I don't have a limit. Yeah, and these nuts and screws don't even bother my hand, really grip really. So there we got it. Now I'll just have to sharpen it and tape it up and everything. And clean up all that, so in the interest of time, I guess I'll conclude this video for now, because the rest ain't really got much to show. And I guess I'll show another video of it sharpened up. Maybe lopping down some trees over there, or weeds or whatever. So anyway, I finally finished a video I should have finished 2 years ago. There, you got it. Not straight at all.